What is your preferred music now? Do you like when you dance now, like what is your go-to music or the music that you like to listen to?
Usually when I dance, it's Vogue, it's house music. But if I have to, because dancing and listening for me are two different things.
Right.
I don't dance to the music that I listen to,
Right.
unless it's something like very specific. But I like to listen to soul music. I love Erykah Badu. Oh my God, Erykah Badu.
Hi,
is-
Erica. You have a fan.
I do. Look at this. This is inspired by Erykah Badu for sure at some point because she is the queen.
She is the queen. I mean,
Yes, Erykah Badu is
with her sound frequencies.
yes, Janelle Monáe also is
Janelle.
another one who brings a lot of like references into things that I do, like all these Afrofuturism people.
What about Doja?
Oh, I love Doja. I love her. Doja Cat, Beyonce for sure,
Of
Lady
course.
Gaga.
Queen Bee.
Right,
Gaga.
I grew up like watching Lady Gaga and trying to understand what she was doing at some point. But it was like, I don't care, I just love her.
I just love her because
Right,
she's
because
just
she's
doing
so
it.
crazy. She's doing all these things,
She's just-
all this fashion and all these performances and all these things, and people are gagging. And I was living. It was like, yes, girl, do it.
Right?
Yes, all the like pop, like a lot of pop references, and also I love like a lot of soul music, a lot of like R&B, and yeah, that's pretty much the music that I listen to it nowadays.
Great. Let's talk about this Afrofuturism.
Okay, Afrofuturism for me is who I am, is the future, is my vision, is my inspiration, is everything that I do and I'm drawn to it. And it started me doing avant-garde performance art. And being black in Brazil and doing this kind of performance, people did not understand what I'm doing, why I was doing that. And I always felt like people misunderstood me, or people was misunderstanding me, or like people would not fully get whatever I was doing. And because I was doing performance art was ahead of my time. So me becoming an Afrofuturist, it was like going back to whatever I was doing in terms of performance art, and like me reclaiming or claiming the fact that I was doing something ahead of my time. So it's
Pushing the limits.
pushing the limits. So that's why I was Afrofuturist. That's why I became Afrofuturist.
Ahead
Also
of your
has
time.
yes. It's also very influential now to the Afropunk Festival.
Yeah.
Because I love the Afropunk Festival, and the first time I went to the Afropunk Festival
Here in New York?
here in New York, 2018,
Oh, okay.
was the first time. Was actually
It was great.
I saw Janelle Monáe and
Yep.
Erykah Badu at the same night.
No.
It was wild, and it was so wild that when I got there, I've never seen that in my life. I've never seen so many beautiful black people all around, fashionable. It was like a whole. I was like, I want to live in this place. I want to be here. Like that was like one of the most beautiful images I have in my life.
They are beautiful.
Is like from Afropunk.
Yep.
And seeing all these people like looking stunning and beautiful and talented people all over, and like everyone's taking pictures, everyone's talking to each other, is like that's a sense of community too.
Yeah.
And there was like a lot of like queer
Community,
people too.
peace, and love.
I was gagged. I was
Yeah?
like, that's what I want to do. And I felt like after experiencing Afropunk and claiming my sense of like being this avant-garde artist, when I came back to Brazil, it was like, that's who I am. I'm an Afrofuturist. And that's actually how I define myself.
How it sets you apart from everyone else.
That's part of my aesthetic, that's part of my study, that's part of like everything that I do, because since I started doing art, all my references are black, not just in Brazil, but also American too. And I try to be as much as truthful of who I am,
Yeah.
like with my roots. My grandfather was a slave in Brazil, and I know that my grandmother was a indigenous, like a Brazilian indigenous. So
Yes.
it's very like deep to who I am. And also, I don't know my father, but I know my father. It's very like from the blackest city or the blackest state outside of Africa.
Wow.
And his complexion is way more darker than mine, like really, really dark. And my mom would tell me about all the things that he would do it. There was like this time, and my mom, it's so funny because I don't know my dad, but I have this story, this memory of my mom telling me that one day he went to buy a car, and then the person wouldn't sell him a car
Because of his complexion.
yes.
Wow.
And then he went to buy a car, and then the person saying no, and then a month later he came back with cash, and then she put a cash on the table, and then he left the place with the car.
Wow.
It was like my mom would tell me like all these stories about my father and how he was like a powerful figure. And I would love always drawn to that and like try to imagine. I tried to connect and find my father many times,
Yeah.
but I never found him.
Yeah.
So it's something that I feel like that's unfinished business for me, and something that I really wanna do before I go, like I pass away, or like
Before
before I
you
die.
finish your mission.
Before I finish my mission, I feel like that's something that I really would need to finish, is like find my father and find all my roots.
So walking with honesty and confidence is what drives you to all of this, through all of this. Yeah, because that's what we see. Like the level of your honesty along with your confidence. Because you can be honest but super insecure, but you're very confident with an honest feel to it, which again, it sets you apart from a lot of artists and people that I know.
Yeah, I try to be as much honest. There's something that I believe is like, there is no
You have
lie,
to start with honesty.
right? It's very that is like
It's so
that
much
is-
easier to start with honesty.
There is no lie. Everyone has your own truth. Like, what are you gonna lie about? Because your truth, it's different from everyone else. So me being honest sometimes can go against me, because sometimes I can be very unfiltered, and people sometimes doesn't know how to take my honesty, because I am very opinionated. I can like give you opinions about things, but something that I learned, I feel like you grown up and you're like mature, and you learn that not every time people need their opinion.
Right.
So like let them ask. If they ask for opinion, you can give. And now when they ask for opinion, I always ask them back. It's like, do you want my honest opinion?
Like, are you sure?
Or you want to hear?
Are you
what
sure you want
want?
some of this?
Right? Because it's like if I'm honest to myself, I have no hold back to be honest with you.
That's right, yeah.
I live my truth every single day. So, and also being in New York City was a part of that, because I felt like that's when I found myself. But if you want to start this topic, it's like me going to New York
That's
City.
fine. No, I mean, I do want to talk about New York City and why you chose New York City to continue your career.
Yeah, so New York City,
When you were little, did you know about New York City? When you were, you know...
I mean, what's funny, it's like a memory. I don't know if I have told that to anybody. It's like when I
you're
was,
saying it here first.
well, when I was little, it's very silly. It's something really silly. When I was little, I knew about New York, but I've never dreamed about New York. The only dream I had when I was little was having a coat, because I feel like the coat was like feeling cold. And in Brazil, everything, it doesn't have a winter. It's hot all year. Even during the winter, like we don't have like that like coldness that we have over here. So me watching movies or watch like telenovelas, and I've seen people wearing like oversized coats, was like
And these snowflakes coming down.
yes,
like-
but the fact that like they're wearing coats were so chic to me. Like it was like, it's so elegant. It's like I've never had a chance or never saw a coat
never
myself.
wore a coat?
Never wore a coat. And then it was like I would watch that and like imagine myself like wearing a coat. And then that's actually how I started.
That was
the
it?
whole idea to like
just wanted to wear a coat.
yeah, to go somewhere cold, to wear a coat, because it's so elegant. It was like,
And
yes,
why
do it.
not New York for it?
Yes.
There's just, by the way, with terrible weather. winter weather.
Yeah,
it's not Chicago,
I hate the winter.
but
I
it's
hate
still like, oh my God.
So there was like this memory in my mind of like a child like seeing the codes and like want to wear a coat, but I never thought about coming to New York. And New York was never like a dream city. New York City started to become a thing when I was doing musicals. So when I was doing musical, we started about Broadway. You know about Broadway? It's like, oh,
That's what
Broadway.
we know for.
It's
Never
like
know for.
the it is the thing for musicals. Like, okay, let's see what's Broadway. So study about Broadway and all this like acting and singing and musicals and everything. And then when I was in dance school, we went to another state to compete. We have like a there was a competition. It was like 2016, 17. We have a competition, and then we went to compete, and we brought a few pieces, like a few numbers, and one of the number got number one, like 10 across the board, number one in the entire festival, and then we got a scholarship to a summer intensive at Joffrey Ballet School in New York City. And that's when New York started for sure. That was like became a thing. It's like now you gotta go to New York City because you just won this award.
That's great. The power of scholarships and
Yes.
how it can open up your whole
And then,
vision
Yeah,
and
very
shape
that.
your future.
And then I came to New York City for the first time, just for 15 days. And it was so powerful to me because just like stepping in the city, looking around and see so many possibilities, it was like, I want to stay here, I want to be here. And that's when I actually moved back to Brazil. I have a meeting, like let's have a reunion with my family because I'm not rich. Like my mom and my family is not rich, so I have to have a reunion, a meeting. It was like, who can contribute for me to go? Like, let's do like fundraising right now in the family.
A community pool.
A community pool, yeah. And that's when we found out who is really
Supporting
with
you, yeah,
or
and who's not.
Yes, very that. It was hard, but I made it. We made it. And then I came to New York City, and they decided to look for dance schools. But dance schools in New York City is really expensive.
Yeah.
So I transitioned from dance school to English.
Got it.
So I got my ESL. That's my certificate. I have an English as second language. And then I graduated, and after I graduated, I went back to Brazil. But before I graduated, leaving New York City was when I found myself, the sense of myself. That's when I found my family. That's why I could embrace my family inside, because nobody cares in New York City. You can wear a skirt, whatever in the street. Nobody cares. Nobody's gonna say anything. It's New York, you know what I'm saying? But Brazil is not like that.
Right, no.
When I'm coming from, it's not like that.
Yeah.
So the cultural shock wasn't me coming to New York City, because when I came to New York City, everything was new, different, and I found myself, and I came out as a non-binary person, a gender non-conforming person, and then
Non-binary, gender non-conforming.
yes.
Okay.
That's when I embraced my family inside and I understood that I'm not a boy, but I'm not a girl. I understood that that's something in me that it doesn't have to be defined as a gender. I am who I am, and I don't identify as a boy. I don't identify as a girl or as a woman or as a man.
And to please stop the control.
Yes. Yes.
To please stop the control with that.
Yes, and that's when I found community in New York City, and I found the sense of myself. And then the cultural shock was me coming back to Brazil. After experiencing New York City, coming back to Brazil was hard.
You want to come back.
Because I want to do me, but being me in Brazil was not okay.
You want to come back to New York.
It was not okay. And that's when the whole ballroom started.
You created that there for yourself.
Yes, very that.
That's
that was
amazing.
For me, that was like the turning point, because
You couldn't take it anymore.
yes, I experienced ballroom here, with my gay father, Michael Lubers. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Michael is the European father of the House of L. He was the first person who introduced ballroom to me, and I'm very grateful for that. He would call me to go to balls, and I'll be like, whatever. And then when I went to the balls, I was like, okay, what is this? I want to know more. And then I went to the Latex Ball 2019. I went to the Latex Ball, and then I watched the Bizarre category. I actually watched the entire ball because Michael was like walking for All the Way Anyway performance. And then when I watched Bizarre, I was like, that's it. Because that's very avant-garde performance art and connects to what I was doing before. I was like, I want to do that. Like, what's their mind? Like, how they create such a big things like that? And then after seeing that, I was like, okay, I want to do ballroom. I want to be in ballroom. I want to know more about ballroom. And that's when I left to Brazil.
So you created a new chapter for yourself. You designed a new chapter just solely by that inspiration.
Yes. I went to Brazil, and when I was in Brazil, I had a workshop, a performance art workshop. I did this performance art workshop. It was great to have a lot of like things. And then I had to do another workshop, another performance art workshop, because I got an award. I got money to produce this workshop.
Yes.
And then I was having a hard time being myself, being out there. And then instead of having a performance art workshop, I was like, I'm gonna do a ballroom workshop. I'm gonna do a platform, make a platform where I can be myself. And
Beautiful.
me being myself, me creating a platform for me being myself, I can allow others to be themselves. And that's when I started to study really hard about ballroom, about Vogue and everything. And I did this workshop. It was like 1 month workshop. It was like 30 people in a room, which is a lot of people from where I come from. And like all these people like very like into ballroom and into Vogue and everything. And that's when I started to do the first steps to do a house and to the first ball and to find a community. And that was like the whole objective, is like to make a place, to create a place where we can be unapologetic ourselves without being afraid of being outside. And that's when ballroom came to Brazil with me, like with all these ideas of like, I need to express myself, I need to be me, and I don't want to be afraid. And I would tell you that changed my life for like completely.
Your life. What about the life of others that were inspired by you that you probably don't even know about?
Well,
And I'm gonna have the privilege in interviewing 20 years from now.
You see?
I had him here first.
Yes, it changed my life, and I'm pretty sure it changed others' lives too, because to this day they still have ballroom out there.
Of course.
They still have not just the community, but they have themselves. They have more sense of what they can do, of what they can be in the environment, in their like community.
Wow.
So yes, I did the first ball, and before I did the first ball, I wanted to do an immersive experience. So we did a artistic residency. We went to a beach house for 3 days, and then I collected materials. The first ball was like upcycling.
Yeah.
And then we did the upcycling ball. So during 3 days, I invited also people who was like really important in the community from other states.
Yeah.
Because it was important to me to make a connection and to bring people who are already in ballroom, so me can experience that more, and my child can also have someone that they can look to it.
Yeah.
Yes. So this residency was 3 days. It was like about recycling and upcycling, and during 3 days we were like collecting materials, producing, having workshops, Vogue workshops and everything. My child was like doing everything. I was cooking. I was like, make sure everyone's, I'm a fully mother, believe me. They're like enjoying themselves, and was like
full
producing, putting a structure up,
Full
cooking
production
for
house.
them,
Oh
like
my God.
breakfast, lunch, dinner, make sure like clean the house, make sure they have everything ready for them. And at the last day, the third day, we actually have the first ball, which was like where we announced the house, and then everyone came and showed the looks they created during this residency.
A full production house. You're creating it from scratch, all with your vision, having people support you, right? Well,
I would say it was my mom supporting me without knowing. Because I would be like the financial advisor for my mom.
Right.
And sometimes I would get money to do my productions.
Yes.
And I would tell her that was like I was doing a party or something, but she didn't have no idea what kind of party I was doing.
type of party you were throwing.
Yes.
Meantime, your money was being used for balls.
Yes,
I
that
love
too, but it wasn't like that much
Fashion
because
balls.
I also there's like in Brazil, most of the artistic productions they do by callings, which means they have like a call for projects.
Yeah.
And then they submit the project and they give you the money so you can do your project. So most of my projects I did this way. So I actually always work for it. So I didn't have like a lot of support from outside. It was always me
Or
writing.
any collaborations with anyone.
No. It was me writing the full project, conceptualizing everything. It was like
Full production.
full. And then sending to the call, and then the call would get approved, and then they would get me money. And from the money, I would produce something. I would like put the money into production. And that's actually how we did most of the balls, how we did the residency. It was like through that.
Do you see this world collaborating, let's say, with Mercedes Fashion Week or any of those shows that are here yearly?
In what capacity?
Just fashion, capacity of fashion, wardrobe, designers.
I love fashion. So
Well, I before you got here, Barris and I were talking about, you and your style, and I said, he doesn't strike me as a Broadway person. And Barris mentioned he's more like a Met Gala, right? So you're more like a Met
I'm honored to hear
Gala.
that because
You're more
Met
like
Gala
a
is the
Met
biggest-
that's who I see you as. So do you see yourself there?
It's I see myself in many places.
Yeah.
I see myself. What I see for myself is that it's no boundaries.
Yeah.
Like if I put in my mind that I want to do something, that I want to go something, I would make that happen regardless. Because I've never thought in my life I would be in New York City. I would never thought in my life I would be part of one of the most prestigious houses in ballroom scene, which is the House of Garçon. Hi, Garçons.
Hi, Garçon.
The House of Garçon. And I would imagine my life that 5 years later, from when I saw the bizarre category at the Latex Ball, which is the biggest ball in the world, I would get myself a grand prize from the bizarre category at Latex Ball. That's the gag that it's still with me. I'm still gagging to this day. When I hold that grand prize, I was fully, I look at my mom and I was like, I don't believe it that I'm holding the Latex grand prize. And then a whole movie came in my mind of like me 5 years before watching the bizarre and be like, oh, I want to go to ballroom. So I feel like there are places to go, for sure. There are opportunities to have. And I don't limit myself in order to try to go some places. I feel like I can go anywhere. Like, if you give me a door, I will open. So it's very much like that. If like I did Fashion Week last year, it was so funny because I actually closed a Fashion Week show. And that was really interesting because I did the auditions.
Do you have footage of that?
I do.
I want to see it.
I did the auditions And during the auditions, they have boys and girls for the auditions. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to just audition. And they're like, you can actually audition for boys and you can actually audition for men and women. And then I did men, and then I was like not having it. I didn't like it because I was in heels. And then they're like, you can do women's. And then it was like, here I come. I'm in a room full of like, it was a big room. It was like a lot of women in the room, and I was the first one to walk.
Wow.
And then I was in heels, and then when I walked, the designer just
We found him.
yeah, he
He's
was like,
here.
the designer was like fully gagged.
This is it.
Yeah, very that. And then the designer was like, yeah, I need you in the shop.
Yeah. Everybody, you can go home now.
And I was like, I truly didn't expect that, because I was so scary. It was like a lot of women, beautiful women
my
right
God.
here,
And here you
like
are.
this flamboyant, like non-binary person here in heels, like walking. And then when I walk, everyone's just gagged. And then it was like, okay, that was like for me, like understanding the power of my not just my walk, but my presence.
Your honesty and
My
discipline.
honesty, yes. And then they put me to close the show. It was good. It was great. This year in April, I did Brooklyn Fashion Week, and I opened actually, sorry, it's the opposite. Last year I opened the fashion show, New York Fashion Week, and this year I closed a Brooklyn Fashion Show for a Brazilian designer.
Wow.
And for that show, I didn't even do the auditions.
Stop it.
The director called me.
Yeah, we need you.
They say like, yeah, we need you.
Please, we need you.
And I was like, wait, what? Do you know me? Like, how do you know me? Like,
I mean,
that was like gagging. It was like, I didn't expect the director of Brooklyn Fashion Week call me and say like, we need you. We want you in one show. And I was like, okay, sure.
so clearly, you are the person that everyone's calling for, you know, like let's say different production houses, because you are already a walking production. They don't have to do a lot of work with you. This is you, like full spectrum.
Yeah, that's something I also hear from my house, where that like my garçon house, they say like, you're in the house and you never ask for any help for anybody.
Yeah.
Like, you just come here and you just storm everything.
But let me ask you this. Yes, that's true. I can see that. And I know why, because I've had the privilege of witnessing that. But is there anything that you see missing that can improve within the community, your community, the community of ballroom dance and production, that you can contribute more of your professional skills to? Like, you know, you've done all of these shows, you've walked all of these shows. What do you see overall missing that, you know, you can share your insights on and or contribute your specialties?
Actually, that's the conversation that I've been having lately.
Yeah.
Which is GNC representation. GNC, non-binary bodies and people representation in ballroom. That's something I also advocate for, because not always they have GNC categories.
Got it.
And when they have, not a lot of people walk. So my mission lately has been not just trying to walk as many GNC categories I can walk, but also find the GNC people in my community and ask them to walk, try to motivate them to walk, and try to like tell them, oh, that's this ball is coming up, they have GNC, like, in how can we all make sure that we are on the floor and we are being seen. Because in ballroom can be very binary. Can be very like male body, female body. And sometimes what's in between, it's very misunderstood, or what's in between is not even acceptable sometimes. Before I started getting grand prize, I used to be chopped because I would walk drag, but my drag's not feminine enough. So it's not about my walk, it's more about what I'm presenting. So
your creativity.
Yes. And then I would walk butch queen, but I wouldn't feel right with me. And then there was all these things that would happen to me, and I would like lose the balls, and I would be thinking like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Until I found the GNC categories. And when I walked the GNC category, that's when I got my first grand prize. And then I understood that's my place right here.
You found your place. You found your home.
Yes, that's my place right here. That's what I do. That's my aesthetic. It's not just masculine. That is also not just feminine. It's not over feminine. It's not over masculine. It's all in between. You cannot define. It's confusion, and that I'm here for.
And you're here to improve it.
Yes.
You are
So that's
here to improve it.
That's my mission. That's what I'm advocating for, and I hope the community has more space for non-binary and GNC people.
That's beautiful.